What is Godzilla? We all know a bit about Godzilla. It's this fire-breathing dinosaur that really likes to destroy my cat Tokyo. We all know this. But despite the fact that most of Godzilla movies look laughable and deeply childish, things didn't start that way. They were far from that. The first Godzilla movie is what we're going to talk about now, and it all starts back in World War II. This terrific battle had the Axis powers against the Allied forces. Being part of the Axis, by 1945 Japan was the only one left in war with the Allies. Because of honor was at stake, Emperor Hirohito wouldn't surrender. Then the atomic bombings happened, killing around 120,000 people and 130,000 more gravely injured by radiation. This since has become the worst tragedy in Japan's history. Next move, Japan surrendered. A year later, film director Ishiro Honda was freed from being a war prisoner. He was drafted while studying in university, but never lost the love for movies. His new job was in Toho Studios, where he studied as an assistant director, then worked up to directing his own documentaries about the war consequences. After that, Toho gave him the opportunity to make feature films. 6 films had to happen to finally create Godzilla. His previous movies were heavily influenced by war, but the rest of his projects were cancelled for being too grim and realistic by Toho executives. Honda had to get creative. Because monster movies started to get popular by films like The Beast from the 2000 Fathoms and the iconic King Kong, Toho definitely wanted a cash grab kaiju movie of their own. This was Ishiro's perfect opportunity, a cheesy concept that could grab all the war realities Honda wanted to tell. The first possible director of Project G had declined, so Toho offered Ishiro to direct the film, and he immediately accepted. Thankfully, he knew the right people to work with. Starting with Ichi Tsuburaya in special effects, he brings the revolutionary sweet motion to the equation. Sweet motion is basically a man in a rubber suit as the monster instead of using stop-motion figures, as it was popular in most other monster films. This made the production times faster, and especially cheaper considering the budget the movie had. Next, Akira Ifukube, who composed a score that perfectly encapsulates the tragic sentiment of the film. The tracks are mostly sad and melancholic tunes that resonate with victims of the bombs in the audience, but also taking a scary and frightening approach every now and then Godzilla is on screen. You will definitely find yourself humming some songs after watching the movie. The cast was also great and all, but someone we must mention is Mr. Haruo Nakajima, probably the man who had it hardest. Why? Because he was the man behind the monster. He had to lift 100 kilograms of sheer weight every time he put on the suit. Because it wasn't completely rubber, it was a mix of rubber and concrete. If that wasn't enough, this suit could get so hot up to 60 degrees Celsius. This made Haruo pass out many times during production. After 8 months of work, Ishiro Honda's Gojira was released into Japanese theaters, and it was a success. But why? It's time to talk about what the movie meant. On paper, a monster coming to destroy the city is just a stupid concept, but when you merge it with the fears of the atomic bomb, it's just another story. Godzilla is about the end of the world, in the form of a giant dinosaur. Gojira is an unstoppable force of nature that nothing can damage. You can only run and pray. This is just what people in Japan experienced back in 1945. The damage that Godzilla causes is exactly the same as the atomic bombs. This struck right in the memories of the Japanese because the pain still lingered in their minds. Also, Ishiro Honda's way to direct this film was more influenced by his previous documentaries rather than a movie approach. This made the movie even more haunting, keeping everything real in a sense. But not content with exploiting the Japanese sensibility, Ishiro used this ultimately blockbuster flick to expose the concerns for massive destruction weapons and the dangers of the atomic bomb. The movie doesn't end with Godzilla dead or the city saved. Yes, Godzilla does die, but this leaves a greater danger. Godzilla is killed with a super weapon, and for that, the movie asks you, what's our fate when we have the power to create monsters? Humans are monstrous enough to create monsters, and use them against themselves. Godzilla has come to punish us, and we're all guilty of our own destruction. We created the monsters, and we must pay. Godzilla is just the executioner. Death doesn't care if you're a man, woman, child, building, place, or thing. By looking to the historical context, Godzilla represents the age to come after the nuclear bomb, an age of fear of instant annihilation, the Cold War. We all think it's supposed to be over, but today's political tensions between different countries are rising again, despite the number of treaties made to lower the nuke numbers in the world. The Cold War might have never ended. We just gotta hope it doesn't get hot now. And hopefully, Godzilla won't come for us.